Good evening, folks. It is September 26th, live at Sully's on Judge Perez in the parish.
Live.
Yet again, getting represented.
Represent.
The D by D Sports Podcast.
Sports Pod.
Sully's is being an active host of our show.
Sully's rocking the shit, man. Some good cold beers down here.
Cold beers, alcohol in the parish. Got some pool tables. Got some dartboards.
C's favorite.
Come check them out.
It is actually.
So we are a sports interactive podcast. We take comments, any opinions or any statements in the comment section. Go like and share our page. We come live every week and we talk sports or something crazy. If you want to talk crazy, we can talk crazy subjects also. So we're gonna open up with the Saints review and preview. So Saints, what was your thought on this past Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons?
It's a great game. First off,
something.
Yeah, I mean it's a great game. I think I like what they did. I mean I think everything was, the defense has to get a little bit better. I mean the Ridley thing was a little out of hand. They got to make an adjustment there. But I mean offensively, I like what I see. Like I say, you're still not gonna get the full effects of that running game till Kamara comes back. But Drew was amazing, dude. Ingram comes back. I'm sorry. Kamara was great. I mean, Michael Thomas doing what he does. I mean, Drew, I think one of his best games the past few years, in my opinion, man, just was really carving them up, dude. The rushing touchdown, man.
Oh my
awesome.
God! Did you think Drew was gonna die when he did that spin, or what?
I
thought he died right before that happened.
Well, he come to a complete stop, which scared the hell out of me. And I mean, he spun off of that. I thought it was a fumble or an injury waiting to happen. Neither one happened. It was a touchdown, dude. I jumped up like we won a Super Bowl. So it was pretty awesome.
Right before the game-winning touchdown, I told everybody, I said, this is going to be a Drew dive right over the top. I guarantee.
Oh, yeah, he was ready for it. Drew on a keeper is money. I mean, how rarely has he ever turned down on a keeper play, to sneak or a dive?
He dives over the line better than running backs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, but, dude, they fought. I mean, to win an NFL, it's not an easy thing. Look what happened with Buffalo and Minnesota, P. I mean, who saw that coming? I mean, you go beat an Atlanta team who is a contender, on the road, hostile environment, although there was a lot of Saints fans there. It's a tough game to win, man. Atlanta's a talented team.
I will say something. I think the Saints made Poncho very happy in the amount of touches that Kamara got in that game.
To me, I mean.
Am I right?
Feeling a little bit better about it or what?
What was the rushing stat on Kamara?
I thought he was – I don't know what he had exactly carry-wise, but I know the second half it feels like they picked it up a little bit, I mean, you're not getting much from Gillislee and Williams. I mean, Williams – will say that he had an amazing block on that touchdown, a big play, maybe one of the biggest plays of the game, the fourth down conversion to the Zach line, perfectly executed play. Jonathan Williams with a tremendous block on that play, just took somebody clean out. If he doesn't make that block, that play never happens. Because that was all based on timing, and I mean he laid down a perfect block. So I mean
he learned something.
That'll keep you on the team for a few more weeks. You know what I mean? That was a heck of a play, but that was. Dude, play calling to me was really good overall. I think he's still changing it because Ingram's not there, but I like the play calling overall. Defensively, if I had any criticism, I thought they didn't make any adjustments on Ridley at all. I think they determined to go with P.J. Williams for that long. P.J. to me, I mean, he was just not able to hang with Ridley. I thought he would have been a little better option. He's a little more handsy, but he would have been a little more feisty,
To answer your question, as far as touches, 16 on the ground, 17 targets. That's 33 total touches.
It's a lot of touches.
That's a lot of touches.
That's a lot of touches.
I would rather more rushing touches, up in the 20 to 23, and maybe lower the passing.
But you look at the short passes as like a glorified rush kind of. You know what I'm saying? The 3 or 4 yard passes. Game. Yeah, like an extension of the run game.
I mean, it's more efficient too. You get
if you get him
generally get more yards out of a short pass.
And tell you about one play in that game that almost really was a difference maker. It might have not had the game that close. Remember, he had that back shoulder throw. They were kind of not on the same page, but he had Kamara one-on-one with somebody. If that play happens, that might have been a touchdown. In that back shoulder throw up the sideline. I mean, it was just they weren't on the same page. But
at the same time, there's a little bit of trouble in paradise. I mean, what are the Saints going to do about that cornerback 2 situation?
I think
Crowley.
I think you go back to
P.J.
Crowley.
Williams come back.
I think you go back to
P. Rob's out for the season.
It's a season end.
Yeah, that was a dirty play.
Yeah,
I mean, like
where's that
quarterbacks.
call? Yeah,
quarterbacks.
where's that
you
call?
know, you breathe on them and they get a penalty.
Yeah, the Clay Matthews
but-
thing's getting ridiculous.
But you know, the offensive lineman's allowed to roll up P-Rob and pretty much end this season.
These
maybe
guys,
his career.
that's what I'm saying. These guys are just as susceptible. I know the quarterback, like they say, that you know the problem is at the end of the day, they know people want to watch the Packers with
He's
Aaron
showing
Rodgers. They know they want to watch.
favoritism.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch Brian Hoyer, you know, quarterback the New England Patriots. Nobody wants to see
The destroyer.
a backup, and you know they don't want to see Brent Hundley or whoever's backing up in Green Bay now. I mean, you know, they're trying to protect the quarterback for ratings, you know, more than anything. And I'm cool with player safety, but the Matthews thing's been ridiculous the past few weeks, you know. But yet these blocks are going on, ending people's seasons, possibly careers.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
any other position you can do whatever you want. You can land on them. I mean, except for with the head,
Yeah.
but you can land on them. You can, you know,
And like Booger
you
McFarland,
could sumo flop them. You know,
he said, how can you go and sack a quarterback and not
I mean,
land on him?
and
You know what I
just
mean?
as an
Like,
aside, what the
Matrix
fuck?
shit can you pull?
What the fuck is Booger McFarland in? Is he in like a rolling like booth or
I
something?
don't know. I think he's stoned every game personally.
He is stoned. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
stoned watching him, but
Yeah, that's makes LSU proud, man.
So the defense was not even serviceable.
Defensive
Oh, no,
line?
no,
I think the defensive
will say
line was
that.
really
They got-
good.
They got a lot of pressure
line
in
was
the second
good.
half. That's what won that
I think
game.
the back end to me was still Lattimore did an
Couple
okay
timely
job.
sacks.
I mean, Lattimore besides the one play with Julio, and that was kind of like a double zone type thing going on. But I thought Lattimore was good on Julio. I don't think the safeties got to some of those plays quick enough. I think the corner, like you said, the other cornerbacks really struggled.
It's a-
Linebackers
it's
to
a-
me in
it's a
coverage
rotate.
are a problem. I mean, Klein had a pretty decent game, but the overall picture with the linebackers, they don't cover up a lot of space. They're not the fastest group of guys. But the D line, Davenport with a sack, Cam Jordan, what he had 2 or 3 sacks. I mean,
He was in
you
there
know,
all second half. He
yeah.
was getting after it.
yeah, Cam Jordan and Davenport and Okafor had a pretty good game too. Had the block, punt, you know, but
It's just that middle field and
Yeah.
that cornerback too is like
flats
a
in the middle.
liability right now.
yeah, I mean, they went to some plays with Ito Smith right down the middle, and you know, I mean, I think it really was going over the middle. Ito Smith, I mean, I think the guy Hall even had a couple catches over the middle. Sanu, the middle of the field was exposed, and that reminded me of defense 2 years ago. You know, which is a little scary.
And while we're talking about Ridley, let me eat some crow. Ridley looks good. Hopefully,
Remember that
His-
week 1 donut we had to hear so much about?
hopefully his greatness opens up Julio. You know, just a
I
little
think
bit
he was-
more.
I think
but,
he was wrong on
Ridley looks awesome right
yeah.
now.
He was wrong on another wide receiver too.
I was wrong on a lot of stuff. I
Mike
mean,
Williams.
We're not even going to get on Chris
Mike
Carson
Williams
yet.
did look
Oh,
good.
yeah,
I
2
did-
touchdowns.
I,
huh? 2
I
touchdowns.
did like that.
Good.
2.
You might.
I'm not going to start on some guy named
He-
Carson, but
Hey, you can start on him. I was wrong on him too. I'll take all of my losses.
See, he's 0 for 3 right now.
I mean, I had a lot. I put a lot of shit out there. I was right on some stuff.
Oh, I mean,
You know.
so is that the way to go now? Just put out 10 things and hope 7.
That's
Hope two stick.
that's what your
Well,
boy
when-
does on Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He said you put out the vibe to 100 chicks, man. If one of them calls you, you know what I mean, that was the Mark's philosophy, I think, man.
Hey, when you have an opinion on everybody in the NFL, you'll have some wrong
Since
opinions.
when did Mark Smith start stealing rigs, by the way?
I mean, the only person that's shooting 100% is Adam Highland right now.
Oh, Adam's a good drafter, man. But it was funny today. We had a thing. I don't want to go too deep into the work thing, but it was funny. They made up a name of this person that's stealing these spray machines, and it's like 12 grand worth of stuff so far. And they just said, yeah. So some guy named Mark Smith stealing a bunch of machines.
What?
Like they're trying to, I guess, put a common
Yeah,
name on
they
it, but
said
it said
Mark
Mark Smith. And dude, I'm trying to laugh so bad in this class, man. I'm like, because it's kind of a stuffy situation, but it was funny.
No,
shit.
they have a program. You know, they have a program that's vital to where I work at, and for some reason they kept calling it Fact Finger, and everybody in the whole room had a little smirk every.
So
Are you gonna get your fact fingered today?
so we were back. So Atlanta game. So are we back to having to score 40 points a game to win?
I think it changes when Ingram comes back. I know it sounds crazy, but a good running game can be a great part of a defense.
So you're telling me the running game will slow down?
Yeah, I think it was a big part
It's
last
time of
year.
possession.
Well, I mean,
That's-
what's
that's
different?
my- that's my
What's
whole
different
reason.
about this defense this year as opposed to last year? You
That
didn't
was
lose
my whole
any.
reason.
Who'd you
for-
lose? Who'd you lose on defense? Nobody. I mean, I think the philosophy,
You gained.
and I agree with
Davenport.
what you're saying, but I just didn't want to do that with Kamara. I don't think that's his game. I don't want to.
You gained Davenport and Demario Davis.
Yeah, and then you throw Kirk
everything
Coleman
else
in
is
the
pretty
mix as
much
well.
it.
That's,
I mean,
I think you have a more
I
talented
mean, and
defense this year.
T-Rob, but I mean, he's out now. But I mean,
yeah.
your defense didn't get better by any. I mean,
No, I think a lot of it's going to be. I mean, they want to field a lot. that up and down style. Like, we had this argument with Chris with Houston. He said, hey, I was like, hey, you got to find an identity because Houston all of a sudden is throwing the ball up and down the field last year. But guess what? They perennially are a top 10 defense. The last 5-6 years, they've been a pretty solid defense. The offense caught up last year, but the defense was terrible last year statistically.
Was it that the Saints defense wasn't being tested?
I don't know, man. I think there's some things that Dennis Allen needs to tweak. I think he needs to look in his bag of tricks and get a little more creative. I think I think the fact of time of possession. I like the pressure. I think he still needs to add to that, but the defensive line played great to me the last 2 weeks. I thought the defensive line did well. I think the DB, like you said, number 2 corner spot has to shape itself out a little bit.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, the running game
is not looking good, and he's already got benched for PJ Williams, and PJ Williams got immediately benched.
Yeah, PJ was
at halftime.
He was beaten badly on those plays. That's what I didn't like about it.
It's kind of
like, I like PJ. I hope good things for him.
I mean, it's kind of like, we're just going to keep rotating until we find something. Is there a third guy that they can bring in? I don't know. Is there that guy?
Not on the roster.
I mean, they cut with Millette.
Millette got cut, but then they probably bring him back now immediately.
He got picked up.
Oh, he got picked up?
Yeah.
Wow, who picked him up?
Oh, somebody up north picked him up.
Really? NFC North team?
Yeah.
That could be a huge loss.
Yeah.
The word was out of camp. We had some decent depth, some guys that, people didn't know about. I mean, we could maybe plug and play somebody, but I think you got to rely on Crawley
so my question
to get better. I think you got to back Crawley.
If the safety issue is a problem, do at some point they look to make a move with Eric Reed or trade Earl Thomas?
I think Williams has it. I think Williams really has it. I think
he's just still learning and still.
Williams to me was huge in the Cleveland. I mean, he was huge in the Cleveland game.
He did have a huge interception.
Yeah, the last game, I don't know. I think it was more or less. He was probably watching, Julio Jones quite a bit. I mean, I think they trusted Ridley just to not have the game he had. I think they really didn't believe that was going to happen. They figured
you got to. You got
to play Julio. Yeah,
you play Julio, and
they shut Tevin Coleman down. I mean, Coleman was nothing. Sanu had maybe a couple catches here and there. I wasn't worried about Sanu too much. But
at the end of the day, no matter how good one team is opposed to the other, they're going to play a barn burner.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's
whether
what I'm saying.
It's
like,
in the 60s or it's in the 40s.
The coaches know each other. It's
going to be close. I mean, those teams know each other so well that no matter what they do, no matter where one team is in relation to the other, it's going to be.
It's just a game you want to win. If you can win on the road, it's great.
Game.
The wife chimed in and she asked if you really know what we're talking about.
Oh, geez.
She
must be a couple.
But if you come on the podcast, maybe you can help us learn.
She needs to. She said she was making an appearance one of these times.
She did. She made an appearance in the comment section. All right. Well, were you excited to see Cam Meredith finally get on the board?
Yeah, that was nice. That
was
nice. He got a touchdown.
I did say that he might be somebody to look for in the red zone.
Oh no, I think that's where I think that'd be his best asset, to be honest with you. Thomas and Kamara and Ingram are going to touch the ball so much. That's reality, a little more than fantasy. I'm not in love with him yet. I got to see a lot more from Meredith, but I just don't think he's going to be a massive volume guy unless somebody gets hurt.
goes to the Colts.
Colts? Good pickup.
Hey, the Colts have been playing really good defense. They got some young guys.
I wish
competing.
I wish him well. New Orleans area guy. He played really well in camp.
Is he one of the guys that's been playing well for them?
He was a guy. Bonneville High School guy. A lot of people really liked him as a sleeper. The problem was, I knew he wasn't going to last. Once he hit the market, you figured it was a matter of time before he got picked up by somebody.
So Drew passes what all-time completions record?
I love
He's going to finish with a lot of records by the time he's done.
Passing 80% completion rate.
He's top 3 of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to say this.
Are we still having Aaron Rodgers conversations about greatest?
Aaron Rodgers is great, absolutely. It's a hard choice to me.
Like Kyle Hurd is saying Rodgers like the greatest ever.
No, I think that's to me. It's in my personal 3 right now. I'd say it's probably Brady, Elway, and Breeze in my personal 3. I'd say Rodgers and Manning round out the top 4 and 5. Depending on which way you want to shape it. Maybe Rodgers. And I love Peyton Manning, New Orleans.
Is Brady a system guy?
I don't think so. I think Brady's just ridiculous. I think he's just.
You put Drew on any team, he's going to shine?
I think most teams. I think it's hard to have that conversation. I think that's like a whole thing in itself.
At the end of the day, he's paired with the perfect coach.
Yeah, everybody.
They fit each other like a glove. And, some people just get into that good situation and they mind meld.
Yeah, oh no, they definitely work
they share
together.
a mind with that offense.
I mean, my thing I was always saying was this: if Drew, you take back to 2 years. Remember, me and Adam had this conversation this week. You think about it. The 49ers game. The year with Vernon Davis, with Alex Smith, we got kept out of a Super Bowl. I feel in that year. Same thing happened to us last year with the Diggs play in Minneapolis. All right. Those 2 seasons, let's say Drew Brees gets to the Super Bowl those 2 years, and we were confident that we would beat the Giants that year, and I thought we would have beat the Eagles last year. I think we would have went on and beat the Patriots. I don't think they could have stopped us on offense. But let's say those 2 years, I know it's a lot of what-ifs, but let's say those 2 years you got to a Super Bowl, and let's say you lost both of those years. But if Brees played in 3 Super Bowls, was 1 and 2 in Super Bowls, maybe that would have helped him get into more of the national media talk. I mean, I know Kyle Hurd and some guys were really talking about Brees being one of the all-time greats.
Kyle Hurd's on Aaron Rodgers.
No, but he loves Brees too. He's a Brees guy too. He's a Brees too.
He
does. I mean, I don't care
right.
I don't care about him too. But I'm saying, but like a lot of guys don't. Brees. He's mentioned. He's there, but you hear so much about the Mannings and Brady's and I mean, to me, Favre. I like Brett Favre. Love the guy's courage, but he's not a top 5 quarterback of all time.
No.
But in Marino, to me, you never won a Super Bowl. So and talk about a team that was throw heavy in the '80s. They were as throw heavy as it got. I mean, and Marino's a great player.
Jim Kelly.
And Jim Kelly, great player. But, I mean, to me, those guys are not Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees, the fact that he won those titles, if you would have got him – and like I said, he still could do it this year or next year possibly. If he gets that second Super Bowl ring, I think you got a really hard conversation.
At all or what?
Joe to me was special. I mean, dude, I grew up hating Joe Montana because of the 49ers, Saints, and the NFC West. Absolutely. I mean, Joe Montana's great, but I don't think he's top 5 ever. I think top 10 for sure. Because when the postseason came on, dude, he was
say
funny.
like Joe's in like the Warren Moon talk.
No, Joe's definitely a tier above Warren Moon.
Oh yeah. I mean, Moon was a great quarterback, but I don't think he was in a class with those guys.
Roethlisberger, like that gunslinger.
McNabb.
Brett Favre.
I'd probably, man. I'll tell you, man. Roethlisberger, man. He's a guy. That's why I always say he's top 5 still in my opinion today.
He's a guy
because that dude gets it done. He gets it done.
No matter how good the team he goes against, I would hate to see that guy in the playoffs.
Oh, dude, he doesn't go down.
He's a fucking gunslinger.
And he makes some throws that not many guys can make. You hit him and you bounce off the guy. I mean, he's tough to bring down.
Especially with the rules the way they are now.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Try hitting that dude in an important game.
Yeah. Did you see McCoy ran full speed and had a slow up and just bumped him and they still called a penalty?
Dude, Tony Dungy needs to be the commissioner of the NFL. I don't know if there's some people here that might not like Tony Dungy for whatever reason, but he's the most etiquette. Like he has the most like eloquent way. He's got great etiquette the way he handles situations.
He speaks well.
But the guy, he made the perfect point. You cannot ask players to go battle the line, then do all this to get to the quarterback. Then when you get there, slow up and basically take the rest of the play off. He's like, there's no way you cannot land on a quarterback after sacking him. It's the dumbest freaking rule ever. You know what I'm saying? Tony Dungy is dude. I would replace Goodell tomorrow with Tony Dungy if I could for commissioner. Like I would vote if I ever had a say so in that. 1,000,000% vote for that guy.
So we're going with. What do you take away from the last Saints game? What do you?
Good win on the road. I'm happy about it. I think people can complain about the defense not playing a great game. I'm one of them, but there's some improvement to be made. But dude, 2-1. Like I said, man, if you're 3-1 by the time Mark Ingram comes back, you're looking really nice. I don't care what the schedule. I'm not scared of the Rams. I'm not scared of all these teams because to me, that's the way I felt last year. You have to play the Saints. I'm not worried about you. You have to come and take us out of our game because to me, we got a damn Hall of Fame.
Well, we got the Rams at home also.
We got the best tandem of running backs. We got a damn good defensive line and offensive line. We can win a Super Bowl with this group. So I'm not scared of anybody. To me, give me Mark Ingram back, and if we're 3-1 at the end of this week, I think we're rolling, dude. So, I think we get past the little early hiccups.
So we headed into the Meadowlands, right? Going to New York,
NYC, man.
New York City.
Does Eli have anything left? That's the
New
question.
York pizza while we're there,
Well, Eli went into Chris Knowles' territory. And,
shit, Knowles sacks in the house? 9-inch Knowles or what?
No, he's not.
He's got the best name of any fantasy team. I thought Seaman was the best for a while, but yeah.
He put a lot of thought into that one.
Well, we heading into the Giants game. right?
No.
So I mean,
Fucking awesome.
what is your focus on his Giants? I mean, are we still?
I think you got to worry about the receivers. I mean, to me, I'm not scared of it. I mean, Barkley is a good Barkley. Look, I don't want to say I'm not scared of Barkley, but I'm not scared of the offensive line. I think the offensive line has some work to do. You just worry about Beckham or Shepard making some plays. I mean,
no Ingram.
see, that's a big, and it hurts me on my fantasy team, but that's a big. As a Saints fan, he's a guy that worries me because I think he would have ripped us a new one because we don't have an answer for Evan Ingram. Some teams match up a little bit better against the tight end. I'm a little scared of him. Austin Hooper's not a very athletic guy. Ingram's like a receiver playing tight end.
So the question
that
is,
would've worried
does
me.
Sterling Shepard go off
That's what I'm
against
saying.
the cornerback
That's
too?
what I worry about because, I mean,
Should put him in the
OBJ
line.
and Lattimore, awesome matchup. You can do Lattimore 3 out of his first 4 games. Let's see, Mike Evans, Julio Jones, and OBJ. I mean, who has a harder – I'd like to see somebody has a hard matchup like that the first few games. But, dude, Shepard worries me a little bit. I mean, you got to – yeah, you got it. Janoris Jenkins is, him and almost on the other side too. I mean, but Giants aren't a bad team. I mean, I'm not scared of them.
I think they're.
I mean, the talent's there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they got some pieces. They're in the right direction. I don't know about Eli sometimes. I mean, 1 minute Eli makes you want to love him. The next minute you want to bench him. I mean, it's hard to tell. And how good is that O-line? I mean, they drafted Hernandez out of UTEP. They got Solder from the Patriots, but plenty of line at times, so no telling what's going on there.
I mean, Eli has looked washed for the last couple of years. He's has his moments of brilliance, but for the
fucking
time,
on opioids half the time. I mean,
he may be on opioids. He's in New York City, so I mean, if I was in New York City, I would fucking invest in some opioids. Fuck.
So again, folks, we over at Sully's right here on Judge Perez, right by Sherman High School. Come check us out. Pool tables. We know about pool tables.
Pool table.
I
We
know
got-
a little something about a little pool
We
table.
got
Somebody got divorced over that.
boards, and we got alcohol. So
Hey,
come check us out. They've been hosting this for the last couple of
you wanna
weeks.
tell the story about
So
I don't want to tell a pool table story.
So-
no.
Shut the fuck up there.
so if you have any comments or any
That's on
opinions
you.
or any
That's your
statements, go ahead and put
I
them in
couldn't tell it.
the comment section. We will speak on whatever subject. So we spoke on the Saints, review and preview. So we're gonna jump into the beloved LSU Tigers last week.
Poncho's favorite.
who
Poncho's
played
favorite team.
who played down to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, they almost came back a little bit, huh?
I mean,
They
La
made it
Tech.
a 10-point game at one
yeah,
point.
La
or was
Tech
it-
Are they any
is
good?
they're good. I mean,
They're not an SEC team.
no, they're not. They're not even
No.
top Power
Yeah,
Five.
they're a team you
Is
should
that
be beaten
Division
by.
One or what?
Yeah, they're Division One. Yeah,
Division One.
yeah. They remember years ago. One of our best players
Who's
came
it?
out of Louisiana Tech was somebody's in the league right now. Who's from La Tech that's really
Dixon?
good right now? Yeah. I think
Dixon.
so.
Fucking
Yeah,
Kenny Dixon.
yeah. He's from La Tech. Somebody else too is coming from
The running
came from
back.
La Tech.
the running back for the Baltimore.
Remember years ago,
Yeah.
Troy Edwards. Remember old Troy Edwards, Steelers. Remember Troy? I remember.
Yeah.
You remember Troy Edwards for the
But I mean,
Louisiana Tech?
is it Skip Holtz? Or who?
There's a couple players.
No,
that
no.
They produce a player here
What-
and there.
what-
believe it or not.
Is it Skip? The Holtz. What's his son's name?
Oh, Lou Holtz.
Yeah,
Didn't
Skip
Brandon
Holtz, right?
Stokely come
Might
from
be,
that-
might be.
Yeah, he's the
I think
coach.
Stokely was a ULL guy.
I think
he was
Somewhere
a
in one of
Lafayette.
those.
Yeah, I think Skip Holtz is the coach for La Tech,
Yeah,
which is Lou Holtz's son, I believe.
but I mean, remember Troy Edwards, dude, with the Steelers. Remember Troy Edwards at one time? Who they beat Nebraska when Nebraska was like a really good team. I think they
Was
beat Nebraska early in the season. He had like 19 catches for like 300 yards or some shit.
Was that like Eric? No,
Nobody
Eric.
He was a
started him on
first-round
their
pick
fantasy
because of
team,
that
I
game.
promise you that.
No, I'm saying, but in college,
college,
he ended up. The
shit,
Steelers, I think, drafted him in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody has
Chris-
to stat check me on
Chow-
that, but I think he was a
Chris
first
is
round
checking.
pick.
And he's saying Boston Scott.
He might be from La Tech. Yeah, I'm about to say there's some
Boston
players.
Scott.
I think he is from La Tech, but
we
they
were
produce
talking
some
about
decent
good players
players.
from La Tech, though. Not guys that got
But they-
cut already.
I mean, they're not a joke team. I mean, like, they're not the worst team else you could play, but they're a team. If you're a serious program, you should be beaten by at least 4 touchdowns, in my opinion. But hey, I mean,
It's not like I don't think Ed has a killer.
no, he's not that Saban like guy or
you have to. I mean,
oh, you got to be
at that point in time, you have to.
or Urban
Ex-
Meyer,
You got to experiment with your game.
well,
right?
those kind of games give you an opportunity to play like some of you younger guys.
Well, not just that. It gives you to expand your offense. See what
right. See what you can make work
Yeah.
and try some plays. I mean, if you get up 21 in the fourth quarter, let's run a few gimmick plays, see what works. I mean. It's look. Just put it this way: you can't worry about all poor Louisiana. I mean, like I said, they were hanging around in that game, so it's not like they were getting their ass kicked. But Yeah, I mean, look, dude, you got to go in there and do what you got to do. I mean, like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, running up the score. I mean, in college, yeah, it gets a little shitty sometimes.
I think Chris attended this game, didn't he?
Chris didn't go to that game.
Chris and
probably give
Gomez.
us more
Tell
insight
us-
than
Tell
anybody.
us about that game.
Yeah, Chris, I want you to tell us about that
I
game.
heard him and Johnny Gomez were smashed pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, man, they was taking more pictures of the board, and
They did. I told him, I said, that's.
They were
I
taking
told him, I
pictures
said,
of
that's every
something.
weekend in the New Orleans.
I'm like,
area,
where's
bro.
it-
I'm like,
You go to
that party's
Frenchman.
I'm like,
every
where,
weekend. That's
I'm like,
you don't
where's
have
the
to wait for
pictures of the game at? You know,
Right. Well, they taking pictures of this place. I said, dude, I said, go to Frenchman, go to Bourbon, go anywhere in a city on a weekend night. You got 50 places that do that. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
I'm trying to encourage him to come out.
So, Chris, what is your take on the game? Was it a competitive game? Did you get nervous at any point in time? Third quarter, you know,
He's got a little purple and gold in his veins, I think, man.
Is he one of them guys that kind of go with the flow with?
Nah, he's backed LSU pretty good for a while now. I mean,
he's not one of them guys that just jump around from team to team, huh?
No, that would be me.
That's no, Chris is a pretty loyal fan. I mean, I know the Houston Texans are killing him right now, and I kind of, you know, I felt like that could happen with that team. I didn't think they would start off 0-3. I mean, I thought they were more of a 7-9, 8 team. They do. I mean, you know, and Chris would be great.
See,
like he's a solid sports guy.
Danny-
Look, he's calling in right here.
Yeah, Danny made a comment. He said that's why
Who's
Coach O.
calling in? They put him on the thing.
So-
we can hear.
We got a comment from Danny. He said that's why Coach O won't be around for the long haul because he don't have that killer instinct.
Coach Oh. Put him on the thing.
You gotta
So we can put him on the mic. Put him on the mic.
So we got a call in from Chris Knowles, Mr.
Chris
Houston.
Knowles is in the house like day.
Can we hear Chris to see if we
I
can hear
can't
him?
hear you.
So my take on the game is very simple. Go to Fritz. You go to walk on. It's pretty
Dave.
atmosphere.
Dave,
Plenty of partying going on. Once you play high school football at Slot Tech, it's over. It's over. There's really not much else to watch.
so
Hey, where we tailgating at, man? Where we tailgating?
October 13th.
October 13th.
And who's
Poncho
LSU playing on the
Be
13th?
ready.
Hey, can we we got our sports podcast banner or what?
so who is
You can do it a free flight.
who's LSU playing on the 13th?
Who is LSU playing?
Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Oh
That's
shit!
nice. I thought it was George.
They don't
They
have-
don't have those two.
Hey, they don't have Sonny and Cher
No
over
Chubby-
there.
No Chubb and Son. Nah.
Yeah.
I just want C not to fall in love with anybody, okay?
There's
C's
gonna be plenty.
Yeah,
of 18 to
yeah,
25
C's molesting.
women,
He's-
so I don't
C's
know.
grabbing
We
a-
might, like
C's grabbing a lot of something.
we might have put him like a Hannibal Lecter outfit or something when he's like.
I gotta put a
bubble.
fucking straight jacket on me,
Oh my
He needs
gosh.
full Hannibal Lecter
Hey.
gear.
so
Well,
I
Chris,
can't touch myself.
all we have to do is give C We're gonna give C his first 2 drinks like 10 o'clock, and about like 10:45 he's
There's
done.
a schedule. we have to
Drinks.
make. We have
That's
to make
all
a
you got for
schedule.
me is drinks.
There's a schedule that has to be made. Poncho's saying we have to schedule like C's drinking times pretty much.
So tell him we're gonna start him at 10. He'll be done at 10:45 for the rest of the day.
You gotta have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
You
I
know-
can stop drinking, but can I do everything else though?
Whatever.
All the other stuff I have in my bag.
I don't even know, man. I'm ready though, man. I'm excited for it.
So
man.
Dave, what was
You'll be in complete in heaven, dude. I promise you.
so what is so
I've been
ask,
on Frenchman on a Thursday, so.
so ask Chris what his take.
You can smell a piss and 50-year-old mills juicing out. I'm telling you, it's all great. But when you come to LSU, I'm telling you, see, you're not even know how to act, dude.
That's.
You better show up with your roofies.
Have you been to a tailgate? You never been to a tailgate?
I believe, yeah.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know if he's been to a tailgate.
No,
I think
see,
so.
she's never been to LSU.
I've been to
I know
LSU before. It's
for
been a
C,
while.
It definitely seems like it could strike some problems with C. I know he could be like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I think of a movie. I don't know if anybody else has seen that movie, but Heaven Help Us, when that kid becomes the.
Is that the one where the chick was dressed like a guy and showed her tits at the end?
No, that's just one of the guys.
Oh fuck,
That was on the
movie.
other night. Actually, that's a hell of a movie.
That's the
the
best
best thing is to
movie.
rewind to the end. You know what I
Who
mean?
knew they had a PG movie where the girl shows her tits
Dude,
at the end?
I knew there was a reason I watched that movie so much as a kid. I invested my hour and a half into it to get rewarded.
It's like,
at the end.
whoa, where those
Shuggies.
fucking titties come from?
Yeah, they came out of nowhere.
All right,
Did them
so
well.
If
so
I want to hear what Pancho has to State.
Wait up.
Vontae,
So
he's
Chris,
the
give us your insight of the game. So give us a little game breakdown. What you thought of LSU's performance during the game?
So you want some breakdown for me? So to be honest with you, I went to practice and then walk-ons and got hammered. And we went to the student section and we stuck in there. And we went to the art section in the third quarter and we left.
So
Y'all up in the third?
You're not a true fan, then.
wait. So
I'm
what?
just saying, Chris is bleeding purple and
So
gold.
how old is? Can we ask Chris how old his age is?
Who's that?
Ask Chris.
Oh,
How
Chris is close to us. He's not.
How old-
quite
how
ours.
old is
He's
Chris?
close.
35, 34.
He's in the mid-30s. He's in the.
So why is Chris in the student? So why are you in the student section?
He's a little old school going on there. Well, Gomez probably fought his way through there, I'm sure.
Part-timer Calvin was he was over there. He's like, come holler at us. I'm like, fucking A, let's go. Let's go here. When you play versus C in fantasy football, it's really not even.
Hey, I just play terribly.
All right. So we got Justin that just checked in. Red. So Red, we're talking
All right,
LSU.
Chris, we're gonna come
Chris,
right back to you.
yeah,
man.
Chris is breaking up.
We're gonna get this October 13th going. I'm gonna hit you back, man.
Hey, underage
So
fan.
Justin, what you thought about the LSU game? Playing La Tech, and then what this
I'll
week?
get you back.
This week we not we, but this week LSU's heading what? Mississippi State or Ole Miss?
What's that now? I'm sorry.
Ole Miss is heading into the town, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Ole Miss is
Yeah.
supposedly has one of
That
the most.
Hawaiian quarterback.
They're saying they have a real perennial offense. I mean, they
Offense
That's
ain't
all-
bad. The
That's the
offense isn't
alma
bad.
mater of one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, Dante Moncrief.
Yeah. He's like the 50th best player to come out of that school. No, but Ole Miss, man, it could be. This ain't gonna be just as much of a blow-off game to me. I mean, I know people are like, "Oh, they're gonna kick their ass," but dude, I mean, Alabama handed them their ass. If LSU
No,
follows suit, that's great, but that's
you
not gonna
can't
be
take
an easy.
anybody in the SEC easily.
No, you can't.
It's like
You
the
can't.
NFC South game.
Even though Alabama handed him their ass, that kid showed some flash in that game. That quarterback. I mean, he's supposed to be highly recruited. I mean, most players are highly recruited, but I mean, he's supposedly there's a little verbiage going on about that guy. I mean, he's a Hawaiian guy. Him and Mariota got a little connection.
He's fucking
supposedly.
Samoan.
Dude's fucking Samoan.
well, I mean, the quarterback from Tua,
He's Samoa.
the Tua guy. I mean, he's doing his thing in Alabama.
Who's that now?
He does look like one
Tua?
of the best quarterbacks
Tua, yeah.
in the
Tua,
country.
however you want to say his last name, I couldn't even attempt it. If I did murder, I would murder his last name. If I
Well,
even
let's
tried.
just try right now. What is
No,
it? What is
I
it?
couldn't even tell you.
Ah, la, 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 la,
Is it
la.
worse than a safety from the Bengals that everybody picked up in fantasy that week?
What about
Send shit to him or whatever.
TJ Hushmanzada?
Sound like a fucking disease.
Chris,
What up, T- yeah,
Chris,
TJ,
Chris, I'm surprised you're not a Bama fan. I'm surprised Siracco ain't a Bama fan.
I'm not a college football fan, so
He
I
doesn't
couldn't
watch
give-
enough college.
Hey, Siracco,
Hey,
is,
obviously, by my draft picks, you could tell I watched zero college.
Siracco follows championships.
Shard Penny at 4.
He follows championships.
I don't know. None of the teams I follow have won a championship in ages. So
Well, because you don't follow any right
He
now.
should be a little bit of a Florida
Look,
State
he don't have
guy.
wait, no, he don't have an NFL team. He don't have an MLB team,
No.
and he's kind of
The Lakers are there somewhat
but
until
he-
LeBron leaves.
Yeah. No, he was on it. He dabbled with the
Yeah.
Lakers, but he was never.
no, I've been
full.
talking about the Lakers even when they suck.
No,
He's. I'll say this:
for
if
the last 5 or
out of
6
all the
years.
sports, I would say he's probably the most passionate about the Lakers.
He was on Kobe. That was it.
No,
When
but
Kobe
he was
left.
on the young guys. I was because I'll even argue with him about the young guys. I think they're good. He thought they were great. So we had our little differences on that. LeBron. I mean, yeah.
I will say that
Basketball's coming
Lonzo's
around
put on
soon,
like
man.
30 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
Yeah,
He's gotten that training program. Hopefully, he's not retarded this
he needs
year.
to learn.
Was
how
you
to
watching the workout? See,
defense.
Huh?
was you watching the workout?
Yeah, I
You
was
could
watching
do
him in the
Alonzo
locker room.
watch.
See was on Pornhub watching workouts of
You know
LeBron
it.
James.
That's right.
Ron James, Ron James,
So,
Ron James.
so that leads us into maybe you was going to do a little bit of NBA segment, and so
Media day was for all these teams.
they
I thought you
saying
wanted to talk about baseball. You
we're
got
gonna do
we're gonna
baseball.
do some
So
baseball.
we could do dabble a little bit
Maybe a
of
little quick one today. Yeah,
So,
with baseball. How
you
we
know-
looking? Oh yeah. Oh shit. We kind of.
Anthony Davis changed agents to LeBron's agent. I mean,
that's a little weird. It's a
is that
little,
questionable? Is
Does that
that
make you nervous at all?
Well, I mean, because people are going to connect the dots. He bought a house in L.A. He changed agents. I mean, my thing is this: he's got what 2 more years guaranteed here at least. He has to play. here.
is Jimmy Butler coming into play?
See,
for the
that's my
Pelicans?
thing. The Pelicans control their own fate. I think he to stay here and try to make this happen. To me, my thing is this: if he goes to Los Angeles in 3 years or 2 years from now, you tell him probably in his last ride. You know what I'm saying? Why would you leave a situation? I mean, because let's be real, the Pelicans. I mean, I know it's patience is hard, but like Golden State, you know what I'm saying? How long can they keep it going for? I'm not saying they can't keep it going, but
Well, they
it's
have
a
an
hard thing to
impossible
do.
cap situation.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to be paying like $200 million just in luxury tax.
And the Pelicans, for the first time in a long time, are going to have
So-
cap friendliness this
the-
offseason.
So that
Coming up.
does that make them or even Gail Benson say?
I think you got to go get another big name. Yeah, you got
So,
to. I mean,
today, like say
I love the Julius Randle move from day one. I thought that
Luxury
was
cap.
great.
That was an excellent move.
fuck luxury cap and everything, just go in. You make
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy
So,
Butler. Yeah,
the-
I
the
mean, you
one
got to
thing-
keep Davis. Chris Paul, losing Paul was one thing, but losing Davis could be worse in my
I
opinion.
So-
heard that
so
that
it-
Miami's going heavily after Butler right now.
I think Butler would solve a lot of our problems. I mean, if he could stay
Who do
healthy,
you trade for him? You,
I mean,
you put up
he's a free
together-
agent to be after this year,
Could you
right?
put together a better package in Miami if they go all in?
You
I
mean-
mean, he's a free agent to be. I mean, if you could get I'm not sure about that offhand, but I'll tell you, mid-season, if you take a gamble that you could re-sign him, you know what I'm
The
saying?
problem is the Pelicans don't have a whole bunch of young tradable
No,
assets.
they don't, and that's to me where you don't like.
That's the problem is you never built through the draft, so you have these guys
No,
that
yeah, I
you
mean-
can move in a deal to get a
that's
bigger name.
That's part of Dempsey's problem. That's part of Dempsey. I mean, he likes to get these guys, and I mean, like I said, to me, I always defend the Holiday trade any day of the week because he's one of the best players
But
you
you've
got
done
in
it
that
every
draft, no matter
single
what.
year. It's
No,
not
that-
just
well,
the
the
Holiday.
problem- well, the problem wasn't the Holiday thing.
continuing,
The problem was the Omer Ashik thing. When you had to give up so much just to get rid of his shit contract.
and
That's what
you gave
Dell-
up a lot to get DeMarcus Cousins,
Yeah.
and he bolted.
Absolutely. I mean, the heel doesn't really, I mean, he looks more like a bench scorer, off the bench, kind of 12, 13 points per game guy. So he, it was worth the risk to me. I don't like the Ashik. That one's to me the one that stands out. When you had to give up all that, to get rid of a first round pick. I mean, that's to get rid of a horrible contract. That's saying you did a bad job as
I
a
mean,
GM.
you need to
me.
keep building those bricks on the foundation. When everything's top heavy, you don't have.
Well, I mean, here's what kind of sucked is, I mean, the Rondo move to LA to me really sucked because let's say you'd had Rondo. You could have kept Rondo this year. You'd have added Julius Randle. So, I mean, because we talk about all the success without Cousins late in the year last year, which was true. I mean, they did play a faster style of
So,
ball. And it worked.
That was an excellent.
we got to check in. We got a Jamie Medley. She said, "What's up?"
What
What's
up?
happening?
So we are doing a live, active,
Live.
interactive
Live.
podcast.
Free
So
live crew.
We are
We
speaking.
fuck up.
We are,
It's-
we are
we
speaking
just
on
fucked
anything
up,
and
like-
everything sports. If you
like,
have any comments or any opinions or any topics that you want to throw into the mix,
Like Jason
put them in the
Wilson
comment section. We will speak on it and we will give our best.
said
opinions
that
on that.
everyone's going to-
So we dabble with the Saints. We went to the Saints preview review. We went to the LSU review and preview. We did a little NBA. Let's do some NFL injuries / trade possibilities, or even some moves that could be in the works that have been even the Jimmy G issue, Le'Veon Bell, the Gronk was going to retire if he went to the Lions issue.
I would too if I was him.
There's a Dez. Is Dez is still out there? Is
I can't believe he's not on a team, man.
You saying Eric Reed?
Eric Reed either, yeah.
Eric Reed might help.
So
the
the
Saints.
question was thrown out to Shan. Question was
Safeties are getting beat
the
so bad.
question was drawn out to Shanahan. The Kaepernick question. So
I mean, I think it's closer to happening this year than it was
James,
last year. in my
we're
opinion.
gonna go with James Winston. We're gonna
I
so
think Winston's done. I think
So-
Fitzpatrick stole that shit.
so let's go with
throws 3 interceptions a game. Then
Jimmy G.
it's gonna be
Garoppolo.
He
over
almost.
pretty
Did you see the end of that game? Then?
So we're gonna
I
go with
saw the whole game.
That's what I'm saying. He almost brought. I mean, it was almost a freaking damn good, like a miraculous comeback.
so
He's
we'll
a
go.
guy. I mean,
So we'll go
2
with
and 1.
Garoppolo. So Garoppolo,
He's
if you've seen him play, Garoppolo, he's on a run. He's what 14 yards into the run. Instead of being a quarterback and just going out of bounds, he makes a hard cut and blows the ACL out. I mean,
quarterbacks need to learn that they're the most important guy on the team, and they can't take unnecessary risks. They need to fucking make a move and get the fuck down on
Look
the
at Peyton
ground.
Manning. Yeah. Look
So,
at
I
Peyton
mean-
Manning just throw the ball away. Like people
I mean, look
say,
at
threw the ball away too soon.
look
you
at
know?
Ryan
I mean-
Fitzpatrick does the same thing. He may get killed at some point,
but-
and then they may have to bring this in.
So we go into
quarterback
the Jimmy G's 14 yards into a run. I mean, he's clearly on the base, out of bound line. So he takes a hard cut to the left, and he's wet. He'd rather take a hit than just to take an extra foot and just go out.
You gotta be smart with that.
I'll tell you, one of the smartest guys in NFL history, Marvin Harrison. He'll catch that ball and get the fuck on the ground. And he played 15 years in the fucking NFL.
People can say what they want. All that dude's
That
being
was
a bitch.
never
No,
heard.
that dude's
But-
being smart.
But
He's
but
taking
in,
lots of concepts.
in hindsight, 2020, Drew Brees, he spins off a major hit. And,
God.
I don't think Breeze wanted to take that hit at all. I think it just the play happened the way
He was so
Yeah.
blessed. He was watched from the saints above. So he didn't die on that play.
That
I
was-
think everybody in the world
was that
thought
was that
he
Benson's
was gonna get
doing?
hurt on that play.
That was one of the best plays of the year
So
so far.
that was
It
Benson.
was. It was
that what
amazing.
was that Benson watching over him?
That was
I
an
don't know,
angel.
maybe so, man.
from
An
above.
angel, man. He
Look.
carried him into that end.
So I'm gonna give a big shout out to the Falcons, right? So we all seen this. We didn't even speak about this before. The Falcons did give a big tribute to Tom
Oh,
Benson
really?
before the game,
That's pretty cool.
I
I mean,
did not see that.
that's pretty cool though.
and they
I mean, like,
mentioned the
that's-
rivalry. They said that saying to the big rivalry, and they did a video segment on Tom
Right.
Benson
you know,
situation. So
Oh,
I mean,
that's awesome, man.
so I mean, as much as you hate them, you got to give them love there.
It's
You know
all
what I'm saying?
good competition, you know.
Oh, it
much
is.
as
You
the
don't
teams
wish
hate
death,
each
or
other.
you don't want. I mean, again, you wish Matt Ryan to leg, or you want Julio to break a leg.
No, I mean,
but
rivalries
No,
are good.
You
I
would
mean,
rather
they're
see a good
rivalries.
game than fucking see somebody hurt. I mean,
Yeah, no,
you
I mean,
know,
yeah,
it's
rivalries
bad,
are great.
It's bad juju, like
Jared Hudson said, "Go
Shoes
Saints."
to
It's
sweat.
always we don't say "Go Saints." We say "Who dat." So
No, we can say go Saints.
no.
too.
Let's
We
give
can do
let's give it a
go
who
Saints.
dat. We not a who day, a who
No,
dat.
who days? Like
Yeah.
bullshit.
I don't know.
It's
Cincinnati, they need
nonsense.
to like win more than 9 games before they can come up with their own chant.
Yeah,
Like, when was the last time Cincinnati's been relevant?
They were relevant
5 years
on
ago?
Poncho's team because he's been starting Andy Dalton the last
Dude.
few weeks. He's been killing it.
yeah.
But he did fuck you this week.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. It's
Lube,
the fact
no
that
lube, huh?
it's the fact that
I didn't start Matt Ryan against-
Ryan scored 47
Could've been-
fucking points.
Against
You know,
Saints. I
Gomez,
should have known
Gomez
better.
would
You
really
should've
kicked
known
himself
that.
in the ass if he
Destin
didn't start
shootout.
Ridley. Because he didn't start Ridley. But what if Gomez would have lost to you?
Well, no, you can't.
No, he
you,
would've
you
won
don't
no matter
start.
what.
Dude,
I
you
mean-
can't. You don't start Ridley bad. Like those.
I would have.
No.
I'll tell you why I started Ridley.
No,
there.
you can't start Ridley
He had a
bad.
good game the previous week.
No.
Lattimore did a great job against Julio the 2 games last year.
You don't start Ridley there. There's
I
no
would-
way in the
It
world.
doesn't
I know it's
matter
going to be a
anyway. I
high
lost
scoring
anyway,
game.
so
I know it's going to be a high
whatever.
scoring game. I would have took a shot at Ridley. Ridley's a truth.
I know.
I too much in college. I've seen that dude, and that's in a run heavy system. But
I know.
he's got the juice.
Again, really don't put up the numbers that he
he had
first 2
what,
weeks.
20 fantasy points almost the previous week.
No, I don't think so.
He had a touchdown the previous week. He had
But
like
don't put up
6
20.
catches or
But
something.
again, you don't start
He
Ridley
might put
there.
up 17, 18, but I'm saying he put up close to 20.
Matt Ryan is more of a start than Ridley is. Twice more of a start than Ridley is. Twice.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Matt Ryan's gonna have to put up some points because that defense is in shambles right now.
yeah, the defense,
So-
Deion
so he
Jones.
might be in
and-
every
So
week-
just
week
just
he's
out there for
anybody
the
that has
for the
it.
time being, you starting any quarterback that can throw the ball against the Saints in fantasy.
You're gonna start
Yeah,
any
you
quarterback that can do anything against the Falcons too.
Yeah,
so
Falcons-
That's an advice right there.
Yeah,
Oh, both teams. Yeah, if you got, yeah, absolutely.
but not any quarter. You have a quarterback that can produce.
Well, you can't have like a Dak Prescott or something
Yeah,
like
fucking
that.
Prescott
fucking,
sucks.
like, fucking worst
Or
quarterback
Blaine
in the damn
Gabbert.
league.
So what's the word with
I ordered the drink on the fly over at
Drink.
Sully's. I ordered the drink on the fly. So we got Sully's. Look at the sign behind it. So in Chalmette. Again, we will do probably
Me
a
too, Tammy.
thing. So we're probably gonna do a show at a different place one of these days. But until we get until we get a better offer, but Sully's has been taking care of us from
They
day
have
one.
taken
man.
care of
Sully's
us.
is
They-
killing
they
it.
Taking
give
care
us-
of us. So
they took
we're
care of
here.
us.
So Heather Stanley.
Oh, nothing but good shit to say.
Heather Stanley is something.
who?
Easy.
Hey, you say.
Who?
Send an invite to Heather. Heather, you will get an invite. And Heather, we got a page, the D by D Sports podcast.
right.
What we ready
Go-
for? I don't know.
Come check us out. Man.
Yeah, go look in our comments.
Notice the word.
Go check and like and
double
share
D
it.
in there.
And we'll be in. So
You must be in if you're already in the comment section.
And
You're in. You're not the house.
So again, you don't start really there. I mean, Matt Ryan's more of a start, twice a start.
I don't think it's
like
not
just
a-
like
who-
Sterling Shepard is not a star. Like,
Yeah, but who the hell John Stark? I mean,
Again-
I'd have to look at his team, but he should start really.
again, Randall Cobb is a star
He
before.
won anyway, so it doesn't
Oh, no,
fucking
it's all
matter.
good.
I know, but listen.
But if you
So we're talking fantasy
40
now.
something points on your bench, shit.
So we're gonna talk fantasy. So Randall Cobb is twice as started as Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard starts.
What is Cobb doing this year? Is he even off to that good of a start?
He had a good game. I don't know about the other two.
I mean, he's
He had
Rodgers.
one
I mean,
good game.
besides Adams, he's
See now though, they might start running the ball a little more. They got all their guys back.
Aaron Jones. I mean,
yeah.
and
I think they want to be more balanced.
Jamal
I think-
Williams.
Jamal Williams is not that good.
But I
And
think
he
they
got
want to
tied.
follow the script of the Saints and the Falcons the past 2 years. And they're passing 40, 50 times a game, man. It's hard for defense, you know. I think that's
And
like I
Ty
said, that's
Montgomery's
still
going to catch all the passes.
I think
think-
the problem with our defense. I think
Aaron
passing
Rodgers.
50 times a
Aaron
game
Rodgers
is
being
always
hurt. I mean, where's Jimmy Graham at? What is Jimmy Graham doing?
He had a good game.
He had
the
one
other day.
good game, and the other two were kind of
Kind of,
donuts.
yeah, so. I mean, he's.
I will say this.
I think he'll be all right.
I can't really trust any of the running backs there because you got Ty Montgomery's going to get all of the passing work for the running backs, and then you're splitting the first and second down carries between Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones.
So Heather,
I don't like
Until
him from
one
yeah.
guy takes the reins there, I wouldn't start any of them.
No, not from a fantasy standpoint.
So,
I
Heather, if
I
you
think it's
go-
better for their team.
if you go to THED space in between sports podcast, that's our page, our link. Like I said, it's in our topics.
We're gonna do we're gonna do a little party, man. We're gonna do that October 13th. Man, we need to get out there and podcast.
So we're gonna do a
That
podcast over at LSU on October 13th,
We're going fucking live.
going live. So
don't give a fuck.
wet T-shirt contest in the background, tiki
Wet
torches,
t-shirt
Puerto Rican hookers,
contest.
machine guns.
I don't know if we can get
I don't
off.
know about tiki torches. That's
I-
for
hey,
those other people.
My budget is I don't have that
Yeah.
kind of budget,
No,
you know.
not that kind of tiki torches. Not like
Unless-
nationalists.
Not
Unless
like the white nationalists
No,
that
no.
Trump.
unless Sully's or the paint store is gonna put up the income,
Man, somebody's gonna love us.
the
man.
capital to support that kind
Somebody's
of
gonna
cash.
be slobbing our
Somebody gonna hook
knobs for
that
that
shit
shit. I bet you that.
Like corn on the fucking cob.
Yeah,
So,
they might fucking.
Let's get
Yeah.
back on subject here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
So we were talking basically fantasy. So no, you can't start Calvin there, just like you can't start Shepard. So
I start Ridley, man. I like Ridley. I think Ridley's
you
got a
might
lot of
start
love.
Ridley. You might start Ridley now. You can't start Ridley
No,
now.
I'm telling you, I start him. I think he's going to get a lot of love, man. I think before the season started, I thought he was a good pick in our league. I was thinking about taking him with the second pick I had if he were lasted. And I mean, I think he's going to give. I think Julio's going to.
That's like
They said, you heard the stat though.
that's like me starting Mike Williams.
but
Like,
you
you
heard the
can't
stat,
start
though.
Mike Williams right
They're
now.
better when Julio Jones doesn't have 100 yards.
When Keelan Allen goes out with his injury.
They have a better record.
Mike Williams is going to be a fucking be a
I like
force.
Mike Williams, but I'm saying,
Mike Williams is a force now.
thing about that-
I promise you. So you don't like him.
no,
You can't.
well, you
how
can't
do you-
hate a guy on one
I've
year.
grown
And he
to
was-
respect him.
How do you not- how do you not
You can't
like-
write off a guy on one season. I mean,
Dude.
I was even giving John Ross a shot, as terrible as he looked, but now I think he just does suck. But like he had a decent preseason,
Well, I
and he
will
kind of had
say
me
this.
believing again.
Like the Bengals receivers looks like they take a little bit longer to get into the system because look
Yeah.
at Tyler Boyd. He was, he's been just sitting there for
Yeah,
like
but
3
Ross
years,
was
and
just
now he's just
So
like,
awful last year.
And now
I
he's
mean.
playing like
So,
awesome. Now he's
and-
everybody's waiver
Yeah,
wire
you got to
pickup.
give a guy a couple years. I mean, look, the Aguilar thing. Y'all get on me about Aguilar. He played 3 shitty
Chris,
years
so-
and then had a decent year. You know.
So Chris is saying the Chris Carson deal.
He looks great. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I'm wrong.
Did you
on all
start Chris-
accounts.
Chris Carson.
Did you start Chris Carson?
I didn't do this move. Chris, he thinks this move
Wait.
was.
So did you not start Chris Carson?
I didn't. I wouldn't
Wait,
matter anyway. My team laid an egg, but I mean, I like the move forward. I
The
look
team
at the
is
big
laying an
picture
egg
of
every
things.
week now, Dave.
They have been. I mean, hey, I've been to playoffs the last
so
2
what is
years
your-
for a reason.
what is your
I'm fine
fantasy
I
with
mean,
record?
but we're in this year. You can't keep.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I
last
gotta take it.
couple
I gotta
years.
take it week by week because I know what the problem is. The reason why I lean on other years is I don't make panic decisions. I know what they're capable of, so
So-
I'm not going to go trade away.
So how
Pancho offered me a trade that was crazy with
Which-
Tevin
which-
Coleman in like a second round pick or third round pick or something. I forgot what it was.
Tevin in the second.
Hey, Poncho's right here.
no,
You're
I
talking
know,
like
I
he's
know,
like
I know.
not here.
He could tell. He could tell you what this
So I
trade
offered
was.
you Tevin Coleman in the
But I
second
got
round
like
pick.
6 running backs. My running backs ain't. I mean, when Ingram comes back, I just need one of my receivers.
So
to
that's a
start
crazy
balling.
pick. They offer you.
I think T.Y. Hilton has, dude. You talking about a guy that's 4 out of the last 5 years, a
Dude,
top 8 fantasy
Listen,
receiver.
what the stats been on ESPN all day long, the last 2 days. What is Andrew's Luck's completion yardage?
I mean, it's like
the
8
depth.
yards and 8 yards.
5.3 yards.
But remember, this guy.
That's
did-
his average completion rate is 5
so,
yards.
So you think this is it?
Ty, it's 8 yards.
Let me
I
ask you this though:
believe.
you think this is it for Andrew Luck? He's never gonna be the same player.
They saying who is it? Tony Dungy right?
Right.
Says Andrew Luck has the same surgery as Chad Pennington,
Okay.
which is two different quarterbacks.
But Luck had a lot stronger arm than Pennington going
But
into
they're saying he's saying that from that injury, there's no recovery,
I
right?
don't know if I'd say there's no recovery.
So
I
from
mean,
now
like, it's
on,
hard
he's
to
a new
say.
long quarterback
He
going forward.
basically he's saying that
He'll never get that arm strength back.
But I mean, Ty, everything
I'm
Ty.
asking
But
you,
here's
I
my
don't
thing
know,
with
I didn't see
Ty, and that's the thing. The throws that's going to be the hardest is the 15 to 20 yards downfield.
he can't throw that
He
right
wasn't
now.
throwing a bunch of bombs.
He's
was
got-
the
he
outlast
can't.
those 15, 20 yards. No, I
dude.
mean, but Ty was never a bomb always guy. Like
Dave,
he
when
could
they took Luck out for the Hail Mary, right? They took him out for Jacoby
why
Brissett,
would you want him then? if that's the case?
which hasn't thrown,
that's a very dangerous situation.
which hasn't
my
thrown.
thing, Dave.
He hasn't thrown a pass this whole season,
Here's my thing.
and you're pulling your
But
you're
remember,
pulling
we
your
play Dynasty football, though. So if Luck don't have it this year, the organization is going to realize that. They're going to go draft a quarterback next year.
Oh, they in trouble.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, I'm not
Brissett's-
going to trade T.Y. Hilton.
I-
If this was 1 year
I like
fantasy,
Brissett.
trading a guy who's in the prime of his career.
I like Brissett,
I don't care for Brissett. That
dude.
much.
You better if the 49ers
You're
right
a guy
now
who can't throw 10 yards.
if 49ers want
If the 49ers
Nas
was
want
smart,
Andrew Luck right now, dude, you sell him high as you can.
You know the 49ers should go after, and I'll tell you
Tyrod
that
Taylor.
you know they should go after, and this is going to sound crazy, but they should go after Kaepernick and get it done with.
No,
Kaepernick's never gonna get back in the NFL because he's suing the NFL.
Well,
He's
no,
about
that's-
to get
well, yeah.
$100 million out
He
the
will,
NFL.
he will. So
There's
that's
no
what
way
I
the
was
NFL
gonna
say.
ever lets
listen,
him back in.
what is
I promise
Kaepernick's
you that.
what is Kaepernick's record the last 14 starts?
Yeah, I could tell you, but that team fell off.
But
That team fell
if
off.
I'm not
But
mistaken,
he got that team to the Super
I
Bowl.
seen a comment on that. If I'm not mistaken, it's 1-13.
Quarterback record.
Regardless of how you
overrated.
feel, take politics, take everything. Because guess what? Everybody, your players aren't, all of them aren't perfect. You know what I'm saying? There's guys, you might meet them. You root for them on every Sunday. They might not be the best guys. I mean, there's some guys on every team that have maybe some off-the-field shit going on. Kaepernick, I don't care about his political views. I don't care about any of that. To me, if I'm trying to win football games, he's better than C.J. Beathard or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well be
saying.
CJ Retard.
I would give him a shot and just see where it goes. Maybe it's a comeback story that they need because they got nothing else going for them now in Frisco.
I mean,
I
it's
mean, the
either-
fan base is familiar with him. They didn't hate him. Frisco's about it. And if we want to get into politics, they're the most liberal city possibly in the country. So if anybody would be willing to welcome him open arms,
I mean, what
it
do
would
they
be San
want?
Francisco.
What do they want to do? They want to tank this whole year, or fucking try to do something to get people excited about this
I'd
team.
love to see the guy make a comeback. I like comeback stories, I guess. That's my thing, man. And
I mean, anybody who touched the Frisco,
Tyrod to me is done. I don't think Tyrod's number to back.
anybody who touched Frisco, I mean, they saying James Winston's out there to be head, but
they're not going to make that kind of commitment. I mean, they're not going to give you much for Winston. I
no,
mean,
but you can't. You can't.
They got so much invested in Garoppolo.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. So you can't
I
do.
mean, if
They need to stop that. Maybe Josh McCown.
That's what I'm saying.
they
Yeah,
can get
maybe
Ty-
so. Maybe.
I mean, as
maybe.
bad
Josh
as
McCown.
Tyrod Taylor looked at, I mean,
Josh McCown is probably the guy to go to.
yeah.
He'd be a perfect fit. I mean,
Tom Savage is not the answer.
yeah, Savage and T.J. Yates.
Tom Savage has been proven to be terrible.
Savage holds onto the ball way too
You
long.
might
He's
as well go get fucking
inaccurate.
Brock Osweiler if you're gonna get fucking Tom Savage.
I'd probably take Osweiler over Savage.
Yeah.
Savage
Seriously,
is
I mean,
maybe the
Osweiler at
worst
least.
quarterback in the
I never saw
league.
Savage do anything.
Chase Daniels.
I don't know about all that.
I'd take Chase over Savage. Absolutely.
I'd almost take
Excuse
fucking
me,
somebody in
absolutely.
this bar right now over fucking Tom Savage.
Yeah.
I can't.
I mean-
I'm on crutches.
I would take you on a fucking golf cart, fucking throwing the fucking passes over
mean,
fucking Tom fucking Savage.
Yeah, he's
Fuck
like
Tom Savage.
Tom
He
Savage
fucking
is like the
sucks.
Rashard Penny of quarterbacks.
I throw nuts. I don't
I
throw
had to
balls.
do it. I had to do it. See, I had to do it. I had to do it for 1 second, man. Look, I'm 0-3 in that league. I am 2-1 in my other league, though. So fuck y'all.
Yeah. So
3-0 in that league,
so
I'm 2-1 in the other league.
Vance
I got a good
McDonald
team.
with the stiff arms.
we are
I
a
got-
competitive fantasy league,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I'll be back in the other one, man. I didn't make the playoffs first 2 years for nothing. We're coming back. The fucking sexual chocolate.
Consistency. Got to be consistent.
Hey,
consistent.
somebody's
This is the worst my
always
team,
near the
worst
top
line.
or in the playoff race.
Hey,
it's
and to
this
me-
I was
guy
top 2
right
in points the last 2 years.
To
Made
me,
it to the playoff.
I mean,
here.
Finals
Yeah,
1 year.
points this year though.
I'm not a big guy.
It's 3 games in.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's a
gonna.
new
I'm not
year.
gonna
I mean,
celebrate it.
we need to talk about this
See,
year.
Finals pretty damn
see,
good.
fantasy purposes, I'm not a big what if because you make a decision, you play your players the way you play them, right? You can't say, well, what if I would have played this and this
No,
play?
I had no what ifs about it. My team's not playing good right now.
I mean,
I'll be the first to say, but I'm not gonna. What am I gonna do? Make
But you-
stupid trades?
but
They're
you
gonna
got-
come. They're gonna come around.
I will say
You know
this:
what I'm saying?
Dave has a lot of fucking talent on his team.
I mean, to this point,
I mean, they just haven't
he
played.
just hasn't put the right combination.
They-
together
I
yet.
would go as far as saying this, and I'm not trying to brag, but I feel like I possibly have the deepest set of running backs.
I'm gonna
I
say
got a pretty
You
good
do.
tight
I
end.
really need to trade
Dave,
with you.
I got
because you
good
have
Dave.
wide
running
receivers.
backs.
I got good quarterbacks.
Dave.
I'm not elite. I don't have that many top-heavy guys. I don't.
I'm
I
saying,
got a lot
as of
good
today,
guys.
as of right now, you're probably going to be finished last in the league.
No, man. Hey, we got a Super Friends bet or podcast bet. I guarantee you, I will win at least 6 games this
Hey,
year.
Hey,
I promise.
Chris Knowles, what do you think?
Hey, I don't want to
promise you.
say nothing, but
Tell us what you think,
with
Chris.
I will not
Ingram
finish
going
last.
down.
I got
this man
Ebron
may wear
ready.
a dress at some point at the end of the
Dave,
season.
Yeah, we got to see. We got to look back in on
Listen.
the reels and see if that was an injury.
See,
I
cause.
think there was no. Hey,
It comes down to
you tell
decisions.
me there was no injury.
So who was your starting running backs this week?
I mean, I'm still waiting on Ingram. You
No,
got a
who's
top
your start,
6
no
back.
this week? Who's your starting running
I'll
backs?
probably roll. I'm probably going
No,
3
no,
running backs.
no. This past week,
3 running backs.
this
I'm
past
going.
weekend, who was your running backs?
I had Marshawn Lynch and Sonny Michel.
So you started
Michel's-
Sonny
Lynch was
Michel
really good.
over Chris Carson.
Yeah.
Dude, that I would never.
Well, why?
What?
Sonny
you-
Michel, he's going to get a lot of love in the passing game. That is his second game. Detroit,
No, you can't.
You play anybody against Detroit. It didn't work out that way.
You know-
okay,
you know
everybody
Penny-
predicted Detroit to lose to to beat the Patriots. Nobody.
You're getting 14 touches a game from him in a Patriots offense.
I was convinced Carson's good, but I wasn't
Yeah.
convinced he was going to get more touches than Michel.
Most years,
I mean, he did.
Most years, 8 touches.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's like Dave.
Yeah, we about to
Like,
get we about to have
Oh,
to
no.
find out right here.
I guess it's almost by that time, I guess. to
If
cut
I can
off,
tell
huh?
they fucking shoving us
The
off
music,
the fucking
like, we just
stage.
accepted our Academy Award, I guess, folks, for best
They
fucking
called time and
podcast.
told us to turn that shit down. What the fuck, bro?
Well, look, I guess it's about that time anyway to roll out. We're
They
going to
fucking
talk some
telling us we need to
baseball
get
later in the
fuck.
week.
So again, folks, we are the
Get some
D by D
baseball later in the week.
Sports Podcast. We are live at Sully's. We've been on for what? An hour. It's about an hour.
Fuck
So-
your attention,
No,
man.
it's all good. It's about that time, brother.
They're telling us we need to get the fuck.
We got to roll out.
They
Just-
say you
just
need to
do
get
it.
the fuck out of here.
So
I
again,
gotta get away
we'll
from this microphone because if I got to get the fuck out of here.
so we're gonna
Love
check in
stories. Don't like this
next
gay-ass
weekend.
song,
Next week, same place, same time. Live at Sully's. D by D Sports Podcast. We have a sister podcast, the D by D Podcast, which they talk about everyday headlines and topics.
Sex or
And
chocolate.
we got another guy, which is part of the production, Paul Higgins, which he is pushing his music, which is HIGGNZ. He has different outlets on YouTube, on Spotify. He has he's on Facebook. So go check out his music. Show him some love. He's trying to do some things down here in St. Bernard. And we all doing a one love thing. So we want production right now. So again, it is September the 26th.
We're going to be on here later this week.
We'll be back
We'll
on.
be back.
We might do a Saturday podcast. We shoot for a Saturday podcast.
No music. No music next week.
All right, folks. Thanks for love. And
They
go
told us we need to
Saints.
get the fuck out of here.
And hopefully LSU will do something.
Let's sue.
I always fuck hot rallies.
The fuck was that all about? They told us we need to get the fuck out of here.